Good morning.
Good morning.
Very excited to have you here this morning. Very, very thrilled that we are in person after 2 years of not being together to do this celebration and being in a little square on Zoom. It doesn't have quite the fun factor as being together. But I really love this particular part of the semester, this part of the course, because the students that you're sitting here with today, these English 2367 students, have been working all semester on what is the American dream. They've been thinking about that, considering it. What does it look like today in 2022? How has it changed and evolved? And then how are people in the community helping others reach the dream? Like, what does it take these days to get to the dream? And so they've been looking at that and thinking about that. And you know, this is the 11th year of Pay It Forward. I can't wrap my head around that. We've been doing this since 2010, and every year, every time we do it, it's a totally new process. And the students are super engaged, and you'll hear more about that. I don't want to steal their thunder, but I'm going to let them tell you about that in a little bit. I do want to thank Amber Wortman from the United Way of North Central Ohio. They have been our community partners since the very beginning of Pay It Forward. So for all 11 years, they have been not only a financial supporter, but she comes and works with the class a couple times each semester and really kind of helps us through learning about a grant process and what that's about. So I have to thank her, even though she's not here today, but she'll see me on the screen. So hi, Amber. Anyway, so I did just want to make mention of her, and then I'm also thankful to the deans that they allow this program to continue. The other group of people I want to acknowledge really quickly, and they are not on the picture there, but I have a course, it's called Business and Professional Writing, and one of the ways that we try to keep Pay It Forward sustained is to do our own fundraising. So my students in the Business and Professional Writing course set a goal of $2,000 this semester. There were only 11 students in that class, and they ran a crowdfunding campaign. And as you can see, they not only met, but exceeded the goal. And so this means that another Pay It Forward course is funded, thanks to that. So thank you for that. So I did just want to talk again a little bit about what these students have been doing in case you're not familiar. So this is an English class. It's a second level English class, and people think, what the heck, how did this work into an English class? Well, they've been doing all the things that you would do in an English class. They've been researching, they've been writing, they've been discussing, debating. And so all those great things that you do in an English class work so well with this whole Pay It Forward process because they've actually put those skills to valuable use to help the community. So when they've been looking at the applications or they've been listening to interviews and listening to you speak for site visits, they're doing primary research. And so all of these things really fit well with that English class requirement. The American Dream, I think they're going to walk away looking at it a little differently than maybe when they came in this semester, which is exciting as well. As I said, every semester is a brand new experience, and I, without any hesitation or doubt, can tell you these students are 100% engaged in this process and have been the entire time. I cannot even tell you how absolutely proud of all of you guys I am with the hard work that you've done. They've taken it very seriously, and you'll hear, like I said, you'll hear more about that in a little bit. And one other component that they have created along with the presentation that you'll see, each organization is represented by a public service announcement that particular group has made. So I think you'll find those to be interesting to see how they've represented your organization. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our student group organization teams. And our first team that's going to be coming up is the Marion Mentors team. So if you guys want to come on up and get us going.
All right. So we got to work with Marion Mentors this semester. For those of you who may not know as much about the organization, it is a mentor-mentee organization run through the YMCA. We got to work with Haley, who is the director, and Andrew Grimes, who is the program manager at the YMCA. They are in 7 different schools and organizations in the county. like Marion City Schools and the North Central Ohio Rehabilitation Center. What we really loved about Marion Mentors is it wasn't just your average tutoring program. It was more than just academics. They provided an influence for the kids that met the kids where they're at and helped them establish life skills. They offer one-on-one pairings as well as a growing number of inclusive group programs. They meet weekly, playing games, talking, doing whatever it is that the kids need and find beneficial. What's important for the kids is that they have that adult figure that shows up for them every week and show them that they care. And we got to see firsthand how much of an influence that has on the kids.
So for our groups, we had to create a PSA. A public service announcement is defined as a message in the interest of the public. It is to change the opinion or, in our case, raise awareness for an organization or an issue. As we were brainstorming for our PSA, we knew we wanted to come up with a more lighthearted approach. It's a common theme that mentors are heroes, and so why don't we make a mentor superhero? From this idea, Mentor Man was born. One of my favorite parts about making this video was working with our mentors or mentees. We had one rather enthusiastic 8th grader named Jonathan who worked with us. He was just such a joy to work with and very excited to be a part of our project. He was quite enamored with one of our other presenters, as you'll hear about more later. Overall, the video is aimed at solving one of the biggest problems that Marion Mentors faces, getting more mentors. I'm really thankful that we had the opportunity to film this at Grant Middle, and everyone was so just willing to help. Without further ado, please enjoy our PSA.
So my favorite part of the mentor program for me is the relationships that the mentees and mentors have. So when a mentor is up here waiting on their mentee and they come into the room, the excitement that they get when they see their mentor. For them, their mentor is their hero. So they're excited to be here. They're excited to tell them about what happened throughout the week that they hadn't had a chance to talk to them. So just seeing that blossoming relationship is my favorite part of it.
Oh man, I need some help.
Hey there, I heard you need a hero. I'm here to help, Mentor Man.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
The mentors on a daily basis, it's a 30-minute block. And there are games over there that they like to play. Jenga is the most popular one. Second is Uno. And then Connect Four, so they can play games. There's a notebook of activities over there as well as a curriculum that we give the mentors so that they can have some type of idea as to what they can talk about. They usually, if they start one kind of an activity, they can pick up on that activity because like you can see like there are crayons and markers, and so because we have this space, they're able to have the ability to put something down and then come back to it.
Mentor Man is a message that shows what is truly important to these people. This mentorship program is all about the youth. The older individuals get, the more I believe they should care about preserving the upcoming generations. At first glance of the program, I had doubts that the older mentors would be able to connect in a meaningful way with their teenage matches. But upon further observation, I have seen the true impact these people can have. The short time I spent with Jonathan and the other children in this program, it was obvious to me they each had their own separate problems and that they all needed some form of guidance. Although I play Mentor Man, I am definitely not a figure to look up to. While Jonathan proposed I be his mentor, I did not think that was the best thing for him. These mentors are put through training to best suit these children's needs, and they give their best attempt to better another person's life, which I believe is the most beautiful thing you can do. These mentors are put through training to best suit these children's needs, and they give their best attempt to better another person's life, which I believe is the most beautiful thing you can do. I'm glad to have had this experience with the program and its wonderful children, and I know the money granted to the program will be used in all the right ways to bring out the best from those participating. Thank you.
Next is Success at Marion Mentors. Many of these successes have been featured in the local news, like the Marion Star, which has allowed the message of Marion Mentors to get out to more people. There are currently about 80 matches between mentors and mentees who share common interests and beliefs. In total, there are 204 mentors who have volunteered for the Marion Mentor program, and they have been able to affect 236 students. In total, that means 440 lives have been changed. And the goal of Marion Mentors is to make these lifelong changes. One pair that we met as a group at Grant Middle School have been together since the 3rd grade, and they look to continue the relationship beyond the student's education days and into his adult life. Of course, Marion Mentors is always looking to add more pairs, but they make sure to go through the thorough process of having mentors and mentees share common interests. For example, Ms. Wilkes herself didn't match with her first 2 mentees, but the 3rd one was a charm, and it's worked ever since.
All right, I want to talk a little bit more about the individuals who make this program possible. So in order for any program to be successful, there needs to be the strong and committed people who help lead and spearhead its growth and development. Our class met with Haley Wilkes and Andrew Grimes a few times throughout the semester to discuss details about Marion Mentors program, small and large. While the two are relatively new to these positions of leadership, it is clear that there is a great deal of commitment and passion in their work for this program to help it flourish. When our group went to Grant Middle School to visit the program on a random Tuesday, we were also able to meet a longtime mentor in the program named Dyer, who shared with us her experience with the program over the years and had some very heartwarming stories about the connections she's made. And one connection in particular that really, I guess, really touched her heart. And she said that this person actually wrote her notes. We saw some of the notes that she wrote her for the, I guess, the impact that she made on that person's life as a mentor in this program. That same day, I had a couple more conversations with Haley regarding being one of the leaders of the program, and I could really tell that she had her all in this program. She told me about how she resonated with mentees of the program, and she felt she was in a very similar place in her life at their age. She also mentioned how just over the last couple months, her team has been able to bring on 5 additional mentors, which you mentioned is a struggle for them sometimes. One more thing we spoke about was some projects that she wanted to tackle during the upcoming summer break. And one of them was potentially building an Instagram account for the program. More on that in the next slide.
Yes, so we were given the opportunity to help the Marion Mentors program out with the grant money, but also with something that Haley had mentioned, which is to start an Instagram account for Marion Mentors. This Instagram account is an advertising and networking resource for the program. Our hope is that this page will help promote and help influence others, and that they will see the need and be encouraged to help this program out. It is also a networking resource and that it helps spread awareness. We really enjoyed working with and learning more about the mentors and mentees through this program. It has impacted so many people's lives, and we all know this because we have experienced it when we went to the Grant Middle School to meet some of the mentors and mentees. I think I can speak for all of us when I say that we are beyond grateful to have been a part of this, and we never truly understood until now how important and how rewarding it is to give back. We will never forget how wonderful this experience has been, and we cannot wait to see what kind of influence this Instagram page has on the future of Marion Mentors.
Lastly, at Marion Mentors, there's always a need for more mentors. That's what drives the program. Without any mentors, there's no impact being made on the mentees. So that's really important. Currently, there's a long wait list of students needing a mentor, but we're convinced that one by one we'll be able to start chipping away at that. Becoming a mentor is a relatively simple process. Background checks and basic trainings and surveys will get you ready to serve a mentee. Weekly attendance is encouraged to create stability and to really help out these mentees. Ms. Haley Wilkes is always welcome to donations, even better food and snacks. Any questions about that and to donate and to help them out, just go ahead and visit their website. And as always, spreading the word is always really important. Go follow the Instagram page. And we're really thankful for having the experience to work with you guys this year.
was in charge of Marion Matters. Here we go.
Okay, Marion Matters started as an education curriculum introduced to the Supreme Court called Bridges Out of Poverty in 2009. In 2010, Marion Matters was made and the first Getting Ahead class was held. And finally, in 2012, Marion Matters became a nonprofit organization. Their mission is to provide leadership in developing and sustaining pathways out of poverty through education and support. They hope that everyone in Marion County will be able to reach their true potential.
Marion Matters has the Getting Ahead program. It's their most popular program. It's all about getting a leg up on the competition and getting themselves out of poverty. When we met with Ms. Heidi Jones, she said it's similar to leading a thirsty horse to water. People already need the help. They're just coming to Marion Mentors to get that help. In the Getting Ahead program, they help people to move ahead in the workplace and make more money at work. They also help people to find more available housing and to get themselves out of poverty. The Money and Me mission is about financial literacy. It's about managing your budget and minimizing debt, while also teaching people about smart shopping and maximizing your savings, minimizing your spending. Wednesday workshops are open to the public and for Getting Ahead graduates. They offer tips on staying ahead after you get ahead. For kids, they have the Our Rules program, which teaches unruly kids about respect and responsibilities and helps to turn these unruly kids into responsible young adults. And the MERN program helps people to meet with a success coach to help with their business and give them tips on making more money in this new business opportunities. And on May 14th, they have the Hope Festival, which is hosted at the Martin Luther King Jr. Park. They'll have barbecue, a bouncy house for kids, they'll have basketball, food trucks. All proceeds will go to Marion Matters, and will all go towards remodeling the building for a handicapped family. Then next we have a prepared PSA.
In a small town named Marion, near central Ohio, a series of problems plagues the town. People are forced to choose between food and medicine, feeding themselves or feeding their children, stuck in underpaid jobs that they no longer enjoy. The citizens that live here, whose streetlights don't work, have unkept lawns that decrease property value, while also attempting to keep their families safe from crime. There seems there is no solution, but there is. Marion Matters. This organization helps end the poverty cycle, teaching people how to make better improvements in their lives by using the Getting Ahead program and the Bridges for Poverty workbook. Why does Marion matter? Marion matters because they help people get better jobs, make more money, and end poverty, all while also improving the community. Marion Matters holds community meetings that help neighborhoods clean up their lawns, fix the various problems with streets, and help break down on crime. Donate now to Marion Matters on their website, www.marionmatters.org. Just click the donate button to start giving back to the community today. 38 grads were employed, were promoted, or they got a raise. 31 graduates had a decrease in debt. 14 graduates were currently unemployed and then became employed, and 7 graduates became proud homeowners. So yeah, that was our PSA. So some key officers of Marion Matters are the legend herself, Heidi Jones, who's the executive director, Michelle Ryman, Lily, the program and partner family coordinator, Natalie Longmire, a success coach and student resource navigator. And then we have our board members of Marion Matters. So Annette Walton is the immediate past board president. Alan Gonzalez is the president. Beatrice White is vice president. Tyler Figman is the treasurer. Courtney Ruth, secretary. John Shank, ex officio. Tim Thacker is Getting Ahead graduate ex officio. Cliff Smith, Marion Municipal Court, and Brandy Page, who helps at the Marion Technical College.
So what did Marion Matters request from us? Marion Matters has requested $2,000 from the Pay It Forward program to pay for things like meals, supplies, and graduation certificates.
This would allow the Marion Matters program to move money away from the things listed above to things like bus passes, college application fees, birth certificate vouchers, and other materials that a student at Marion Matters might need to accomplish their goals.
So, Marion Matters, they're in need of volunteers to help assist their program. Some stuff that are needed is to help with public transportation, help transport foods, help with child care, and they also need help with some of their events that they have, as he said earlier. Need to help with getting some more participants for their Getting Ahead program. If you're interested in volunteering, you can go on marionmatters.org to fill out a form, and then when you're done, you can just drop it off to the office.
So the organization needs, or what can we do to help? So it's clearly evident that Marion Matters specifically relies on their input of our participants. This could be from a pen to a dozen printers. They rely on the donations of their participants. So things that we can help with or they need, if you want it done on the website for $20 a month or just a one-time payment. Volunteers, this is for maybe transportation, child transportation for food, or just getting people to classes. Future needs that they would love to have, community food resources, just meals for the students or participants, child care for the children, and a renewed house. And this is we learned from Heidi that they would need to upgrade up a bathroom, anything like that. And then utilities, pen, paper, meal, things like that, chart paper, and market, just to help upgrade the room for the classroom, anything like that.
So how can people help Marion Matters? There's a lot of different ways that you could help. The most universal way, of course, is monetary donations, just as we said, go on their website, one-time donation or a monthly donation. Anything helps. But another way you can help is, standard school supplies or food donations. That's things that they need constantly. So, you can always just drop that off their office anytime they're open during their business hours. Also, a program that we learned about actually when we went and checked them out was clothing donations. They had community members who want to donate clothing to them, but of course that takes a lot of space and time to handle clothing donations. So they went ahead and made a deal with Marion Goodwill so that you can basically just take your clothing donations to Marion Goodwill, and then Marion Matters gets vouchers that they can give to their participants so that they can go get whatever kind of clothing they need. And lastly, of course, you can always volunteer your time and resources. As we said, you can fill out the form online or contact Heidi or anybody there, and so they'll get you set up.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so the organization that we were grateful enough to work with is the Heart of Ohio Homeless Shelter. We all got to go on a little tour and experience firsthand what it's like in the shelter, and we got to meet everybody that works there. So that's who I'm going to talk about first. So a couple important faces is obviously Keith Ring. He's the executive director. He's the one that's come talk to us and show us around. We were also able to meet all of the employees there. So Amy Throckmorton is the program manager. Devin Durain is the director of social work, and then Angel Foreman is the case manager. Some of the board members are Julie Wells, she's the president. Liz Feliciano Dieter is the vice president. Sherrod McGuire is the treasurer, and Sarah Ball is the secretary. And we want to throw a little appreciation pros to Brent. I believe he's worked there for over 17 years, and whether he is cleaning out the attic or building shelves for the residents, he really does appreciate everybody there, and he is pretty great. He always had a smile on his face when you saw him, and you will actually be able to see the shelves in the later picture.
Wait, will you not change that yet?
Yeah.
I gotta give that shout out to Brent.
He always had a smile on his face. He was great.
Yeah.
Okay, so the mission and the vision. In the support of communities in Marion, Ohio, the homeless shelter compassionately addresses the needs of homeless individuals and families living in Marion, Ohio, with help by providing safe shelter, basic necessities, and even a structured opportunity to fully regain self-sufficiency. So their vision is inspired by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s vision of the beloved community, in which all people can share in the wealth of the earth. The ideology states that poverty, hunger, and homelessness will not be tolerated because international standards of human decency will not allow it.
All right, I want to talk a little bit about the foundation of Heart of Ohio Homeless Shelter. In the 1980s, Reverend Ted L. Blumenstein of the Marion St. Paul Church sought to solve the problem of homelessness within the Marion County. Using his church, he wanted to provide limiting housing and food. He realized that there was a greater problem of homelessness within the community and realized he needed additional resources. As a result of community support, the first homeless shelter in Marion was formed. In 1988, the Marion Shelter Program became an incorporated nonprofit and evolved into a regional emergency homeless shelter provided with a board of trustees to oversee decisions and responsibility.
So the paid forward grant request for the Heart of Ohio Homeless Shelter, they asked for a relative portion for the grant, but it was for the overall positive impact amongst the community. And of course, with that money, they will be using that for transportation to reach out to other individuals that are either cannot reach the shelter or other counties.
So what the organization needs, it has an Amazon wish list, which you can go up to the link right there and provide stuff like that. So it takes in donated items that are unused, and they generally need paper towels, toilet paper, file folders, coffees, and cleaning supplies. And then you can also call that number down there as a way to provide. But a nice story that I keep thinking about is the chicken drive that Heath was mentioning, and they got so much from the community they had to turn down a lot. So it really shows that people are very invested in what they're doing. And as a little thank you for your hospitality, so we decided to buy stuff off of your Amazon wish list for you.
Thank
you. Should be coming soon. And then the next slide is Brent's shelves, and I was just shocked at how organized everything was, and they really do take it seriously, and the amount of stuff they bring in and stuff like that.
So ways to help the shelter is that you can follow where it is in social media, which is up there. You can donate through their website. And then any amount of donations will be able to help the shelter with basic necessities, street outreach, and improve overall conditions.
So different fundraisers that they do, just like he was saying, like food drives or anything that can help the organization. They have also survival bags that they give out to people in need. So sometimes if they see someone sleeping on a park bench, they have items and like things that they can use to keep them going and provide them information on what they do and try to keep them in to their homeless shelter. Also, they get different donations from the Marion school districts. They get different essentials and needs, socks, hats, gloves, and other things.
And so right now, the homeless shelter doesn't have a volunteer program, but they hope to get one going by the end of the year. They are doing a trial run with a family who is donating their time and resources to them. And for the process to become a volunteer, they hope to keep it relatively simple, just a background check and a simple application. Right now, they're just trying to figure out the legality of all of it. And they want the volunteers to work directly and indirectly with the homeless shelter. So directly they'll be working with the residents there, and then indirectly they'll be working in the office, or it can just be donating their money to the homeless shelter.
So I was tasked with creating the PSA video, and I'm going to be honest, I was very stuck in what we should highlight, so I just wanted to go over kind of the positivity you bring, Heath, and I kind of envisioned it as a superhero-esque look into the homeless shelter. So
and the Heart of Ohio Homeless Shelter. I am Heath, Director of the Homeless Shelter and Defender of the Homeless. Like my friend, the Tiger here. We provide safe shelter, basic necessities, and a structured opportunity to regain sustainable self-sufficiency. now back in the job force and earning a living wage. But that's not all. We have friends in magical places. We operate in Crawford, Delaware, Marion, Morrow, Union, and Wyandotte County, in order to defend Ohio from the evils of homelessness.
Wow. Wow. Do I get that video? Oh, thank you. That is amazing. He-Man was my childhood toy. Yeah, it was Peg. Wow.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So as you can see, super invested in this whole process. Like everybody's really engaged and been part of it. So after meeting the organizations, of course, the students were tasked with a very difficult decision of just determining how the funds should be awarded. And so their second research paper for the course was the funding decision paper that each individual had to write, arguing for how much money each organization should receive and why. So that was like their second major research paper of the course. Then we came to class and had a debate to come up with those awards. And I'm going to have Ryan come up to you and tell you about our debate.
All right, so deciding who got what was quite the task. Let me tell you, the heated debate lasted almost an hour, with Mrs. Tibbles joking about how it was one of the longest debates that she'd ever had. Many of my fellow students, myself included, were very passionate about these organizations. We started off by writing our amounts on the board. These amounts came from our final paper, where we each individually decided what we wanted to give each organization. So we put them up there, we took the averages, and that was our baseline for what each organization was going to get. From there, the debate started. A piece of the discussion is where our money was going to be best put to use. Marion Mentors wants to bring together all the participants with inclusive events and food. Marion Matters runs a very successful program and has prided itself with helping with the needs of the neighborhood. Heart of Ohio's Homeless Shelters is a well-known organization in Marion with passionate workers and homey facilities. All of the presenting groups, as you heard, had the opportunity to visit the sites of their organizations. The insight gained on these visits had the greatest impact on our decision. It was so different hearing about an organization in the presentation or in the final interviews versus seeing it with our very own eyes. A lot of groups brought back stories of how they were treated, things that weren't mentioned in the presentations, what the facilities looked like, and what the organizations really did when they were there. All of this extra information, while it did, like the debate lasted a little bit longer, ultimately helped us focus in on our final decision. Really, it came down to which group had the best plan for the funds and was the most organized. We voted 3 times, each with a majority of only 14 out of 22. But though the argument was fierce, I know most of us are happy with our decision and very, very proud to award you all of these well-deserved funds. Thank you so much.
All right, so now it's time for the big moment, and I'm going to ask, first of all, that the Marion Mentors group come up. Amazing. We have just that.
Wait, do like that?
We have decided to award Marion Mentors with $1,000 for their program.
And Wayne, you want us to do in the hall afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you don't mind, if everyone can just hang out for a minute afterwards, we're going to take pictures because the sun is killing our pictures.
It's too hard to see.
So if we could just run out in the hall real quick and do a picture afterwards, that would be great. Thanks. All right, thank you so much. Why don't you just put it on the table there and we'll take it out in the hall. All right, and now if the Marion Matters group would come up, please. That's okay, just flip it around.
All right. We have decided to award Marion Matters with $1,250.
Okay, you guys can set that here for now. Yep.
There you go. Thank you.
And last but not least, the Heart of Ohio Homeless Shelter.
Our class has decided to award Heart of Ohio Homeless Shelter $2,750.
All right, well, that is really the end of our semester, everybody. Can you believe it? It's crazy, right? And I just want to say again, thank you for all your hard work. Thank you for participating this semester. And there are refreshments from Panera in the back, coffee, juice, and pastries. Help yourself, everybody.